Hi, today I'm answering a question about the all or nothing meta program. Hi, I've gotten quite a few questions recently, and one of them is about utilizing instead of changing an all or nothing meta program, and I thought this was a really interesting topic. Now, in NLP, we look at meta programs, which are the programs beyond our program. They're things like, are we looking at things more in big picture or detail, or moving towards what we want, away from what we want? And one of those meta programs deals with how we balance information or activities. If you or someone you know is prone to an all or nothing meta program, meaning that it's hard to create balance, and you're either at the spectrum of doing everything or doing nothing, sometimes this doesn't work in life, and we need to be able to figure out either how to create balance or how to tap into the all or nothing program and utilize it effectively. Now, if I were utilizing my all or nothing program at the moment, my desire, and perhaps yours would too, is to have absolutely no background noise. But today I have wonderful sounds like airplanes and children crying and working outside. There's some work happening too. Now, especially because I'm talking about this all or nothing meta program today, I want to be able to create and utilize some balance. If a person is using their all or nothing pattern, where it usually comes not in handy is if it stops them from doing something. For example, if somebody is on a diet and they use an all or nothing program, the all pattern would be I'm all in, all in or go home. So I'm eating healthy, I'm only eating what's on my menu, I'm very strict, and one little mess up means I'm off and now I'm screwed. And I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start again next week, or I'll start again next month or next year, depending on how much all or nothing you're playing with. And that doesn't usually work well, because to create perfection, and that's usually what that all pattern goes with, is perfection. It's hard. We can't create perfection all the time and be absolutely perfect and on task and on target. So that's when creating balance is useful. Being able to know that 80% is enough, or 90% is enough, sometimes even 60% is enough. If a person is doing their all or nothing meta program and they want to create a healthy lifestyle at the gym, and they set a goal to go 4 times a week and they skip a day, and so they've only gone 3, then they're screwed again, and they might as well just stop altogether or wait until next week. So sometimes it's not necessarily beneficial. But if you have a meta program that is all or nothing and you want it to work for you instead of against you, because if it's not broke, we don't need to fix it. If it is getting in our way, then it might be useful to create some change or some balance within that. But sometimes, especially if people have this all or nothing meta program that exists in their life, it's usually not every single aspect of life. There's usually compartments in our life where we do with the all or nothing, or where we have balance. And you can choose, where would it be good to have my all pattern happening? Where would it be good to have my nothing pattern happening? Where would it be useful to have some balance? Say, for example, at work, if you are in sales, having your all pattern might be a really good place. And you might be able to create an anchor or a trigger to really step up or tap off or start that program of your all pattern, so that when you walk into the workplace, you are on and you're focused and you are in the flow, in the moment, and going for your goals. And the moment you walk out of the office, you can turn that little switch, trigger another anchor, and it might turn it off. So then you can be thinking and being in the moment of where you're at now. This is usually very good if somebody is that perfectionist or that workaholic, or something is constantly on their mind that isn't useful. A project that you're working on when you should be hanging out just with your friends or with your loved ones. Being able to tap into your all, nothing, or balance pattern can be quite useful for that. Same thing if you're more prone to procrastination or not doing anything. We might want to step up or turn on a pattern that is an all pattern or a balanced pattern. Now, we have the ability to figure out how we do things, to unpack a strategy, and to model ourselves or model somebody else to figure out how does someone either do balance, the all pattern, or the nothing pattern. Now, when would some nothing time come in? When would it be useful to tap into that nothing pattern? Well, it might be good to tap into the nothing pattern if you are wanting to give something up, like if I want to quit smoking, or if I want to stop eating sugary foods, I might want to kick in my nothing pattern, because we have, again, that spectrum of all, go hard or go home, nothing, stay home, don't do anything, and balance. Balance is probably more useful in many areas, because it says that we can be 50%, 80%, 90%. We don't have to be on or off, and we have more control sometimes that way. But a lot of people, their unconscious pattern just kicks into that all or nothing strategy. And being able to notice it, I think that's the first thing, is noticing, instead of just trying to change it, trying to turn it off, because it's there for a purpose. That all or nothing pattern is serving us in some way. So if we can communicate with, hey, what's it trying to do? Usually if we're in an all pattern, again, it connects somewhat with perfectionism, doing things right, being the best version of you. And oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes there's a belief in the background that says if I don't do it all the time, then I won't be as good as I could be. So sometimes it's about reframing or changing the pattern, the emotion or the belief that goes on behind that program, so that you can make choice of when to use your all, when to use your nothing, and when to create the balance in between. So in the workplace, at home, with family, with friends, just on your own, there's a variety of spaces that having that all, go for it, go hard or go home might be useful. There's some times where we might want to switch off completely and not even go somewhere, especially when it comes to habits or behaviors that we're wanting to change. And creating balance is a good thing to do as well, especially if you are prone to doing the all thing on behaviors and habits that might not be serving you. If that's drinking or overworking or over-exercising or doing the all and nothing at the same time, which again means that if I'm on a diet, I will only stick that diet the moment I slip up. If I slip up, then I'm off of it and I beat myself up for it. That would be an example of when that all or nothing pattern is not working very well for you. If you are prone to being late a lot, then you might have a lot of the nothing pattern going on with an away from driver. So again, you can model an aspect or an area of your life or somebody else's life so that next time you have to go to the airport, you're plenty on time, or wherever it is that you're going to a meeting or anything like that, so that you can create balance. So all, nothing, balance. Not one of them is better than the other. We just want to figure out what works for you. I know so many NLPers that try and get away from the all and the nothing and just have balance. But sometimes that's not what we need. Sometimes we need that pressure and that motivation of all, especially if there's benefit for us that is a positive outcome benefit. So take stock of your life. Where would it be useful to turn things off and have that nothing pattern? Where would it be good to be able to turn it on to model your strategy for all and going for it, motivation, drive, so that you can tap into that and turn that on? And where would it be useful to be able to have balance? To be able to say yes, no, even maybe, and that be okay. Our patterns are very, very intricate, and they often change throughout our life in various contexts, so you can make a choice in the different contexts of how you want to live with those programs. All, nothing, balance. Where do you want each of them?